Well, come on. Okay. Welcome in, everyone. I'm just going to do this. We can go back to original. Okay. Welcome. I'm kind of introducing you guys on some new things that we've got in this year, things that are blooming around town, and then kind of how to group things together in your yard and kind of how to create a bit of a plan for your yard. Just an overall, not an extensive one at all. So that's kind of what I have planned for you guys today, and then I'll leave the last half kind of for any question that you guys have on anything. I'll do my best to answer it. So welcome. My name is Mackenzie, Ken Lane's daughter here, kind of starting to take over some classes here and there, being more of a voice in the community for you guys. So third gen owner, we're working on it. This is going to be our last class for a while, for about a month, and we'll start them up in June. So just so y'all know, it's our last class for till June. So let's start. I'm going to talk on the few veggies I have up here. We did not have this many before this truck came, so I didn't have many to choose from. So this is a new variety of tomato plant. I got 3 different ones. This is the yellow one. It's a super dwarf. I've got orange, a chocolate one, which is red, and then the yellow. What's nice about these is they don't get super tall, because some tomato plants can get undetermined. They grow forever and ever, and you just can't keep hold of them. This guy's bred to not get tall. It just stays bushy, probably like 3 or 4 feet, but it spreads out. So you don't have to train it up. You don't have to wrap it. The height stays the same. It just spreads out. So that's what makes these really nice plants for the season for tomatoes, if you don't want something that you're going to have to train. So I just thought these were really cool. Brought them in. I have others that are just normal. So undetermined and determined, if you see them on the tags, undetermined means it will just continue to grow. It will not stop. It will just get higher and higher and higher. You can trim it back. Determinate is it will stop at a certain point and it won't grow anymore. It will keep giving tomato plants and stuff, but it will stop growing up and out. That's how you know with those tomatoes what's the difference. So that's that one. A new pepper plant we got in this year is the pillar pepper. Yeah, pillar sweet red, and then I think I've got a yellow one as well. These guys are nice for containers and things, and they work the same way. They don't get super tall. They just stay more of a pillow form, more compact. The fruit grows right onto the stem, doesn't come out at all, grows right there. So if you don't have a lot of space in your yard, or you have so many planters for so many plants, this is a great one because you could grow almost to it because it doesn't get wide. It just kind of stays where it's at. So this is the pillar pepper. Okay. Any questions on those guys? Then I'm going to move into flowers. So that was a little tease there. We were kind of early in our season here. We pulled some stuff in, but if we get another freezing night, make sure you bring in your peppers and tomatoes and things to cover them. They cannot be left out for under 30. So just be aware. Flowers are fine. We harden ours off well, and we'll tell you if they need another day to harden off. If they're newer and we're under 40, you'll have to cover them for a day. That's it. You just got to get them to our weather. So I'm going to start in shade and move into the sun. If I speak too fast, you guys, just let me know. That's a trick I'm working on right now. So just let me know if I speak too fast. So this is kind of a grouping that I brought together that I thought looked really nice. This is Kaleidoscope Abelia. These are shade plants. They cannot handle afternoon sun. So like 11 to about 2, they cannot handle that sun in the summer. Winter with sun, not a problem. Spring sun, not a problem. It's that summer sun. So just make sure that they're in the shade. And this guy, it's a shade boxwood almost. So it's a compact Japanese holly, but it works just like a boxwood. So you can trim it, keep it in a globe shape. This is kind of what it naturally does. But the reason they're really nice is this is 2x2, small, compact. These guys stay low to the ground and fill out. So you get something with lots of color, and then just a nice solid focal point. So I kind of go, you don't want too many colors together. You don't want too many variegations together. Like you don't want this and like this, that's too much. You just want something solid, and then choose your colors to go around it. So that's how I base things together for you guys. So that's what these guys, this is our new variety that we got in this year, which is why I brought it up here. We have not had the Japanese holly in this kind of form and stuff before. Just a solid plant for here, for the shade. Under trees, anything like that. Everyone's got big pines. This would be great under a pine. So that's these guys. Let's go do this. So these are some new color varieties we got in this year. Digitalis foxglove is nothing new. It's just the colors that are new. So got a peach one and a purple one. I think I got one more down there. These are great for shade to fill up a space. They get pretty wide. This is about as tall as they get. The flower is the tallest thing. So you'll really be able to see it in a yard. You can just see it out your back door. It's this whole thing fills up. It is just starting to bloom, so it will fill up. Usually when I have something big green leaf like this, I get tall, I try to put something dark around the base of it. You just notice I do a lot of contrasting things. So I usually, well, this is heuchera. I just brought it because it's got pretty flowers. And heuchera is heuchera, but pretty cool flowers there. Normally, heuchera has like really white flowers that you can't even see. They're just there. I don't know why they flower. They shun it. But these guys have a really dark flower that still show up against the dark leaves. So that's why I brought this one up. But these come in so many different colors you can't even imagine. So they're all down there. This can handle morning sun or late evening sun. It cannot do that afternoon. It can do a little bit more sun than others, but not the heat of the day. Yeah. These are perennials. These are all, everything I've just shown you so far is a perennial besides the vegetables. Okay. Let me show you guys. These are mountain fire pieris. They're also called lily of the valley, I believe. That's another name. These are the same plant. I just brought you to show you their new growth and their flowers. So this is their flower. They just went into bloom about a week ago. So they'll bloom probably another 3-4 weeks like this. So you can't even see the foliage. It's just the flowers you're looking at. When it's throwing new growth on, it looks like this. All the new growth comes out red, and then it fades into the green, and then it blooms. So that's kind of the progression of it. I also have a variegated form, which works the same way. It just has a white outline on it. That's your variegated form. The variegated is a little bit smaller, probably by 2 feet. This kind of gets, I think it's 6 to 10. The other variegated gets 4 feet. So great under a tree, anything like that. No, you get one bloom cycle, but it blooms for a while. It's not like the forsythia that bloom out in 6 weeks and you're done. It blooms for a while. Kind of depends on the season. It probably will stay about 3 weeks or so as it continues to grow, and then it hits its sun season and goes into that. Anything else? Okay. Last kind of shade plants I got for you, and I'll move into the sun because I know people have more sun than they do shade here. We're just kind of in between seasons right now, so you'll notice we're bringing in butterfly bush, we're bringing in crepe myrtle. It's just maize when it blooms. It sticks in the ground still. So if you guys still have sticks in the ground and you're like, why isn't it doing anything? Give it some time. We are delayed about 2 to 3 weeks here right now because of our cold. It stopped our growth season for 2 weeks. So you'll see things like it used to bud out by now. It's not. It's okay. Give it some time. People have been ripping plants out and they're still alive. It hurts my heart. So I don't want you guys to spend the money and rip it out. So if you have questions on that, I can answer later. So this is a perennial. These are annuals. So these are begonias. Everyone knows them. Just started to get these in. But they're great dark with light flowers against a lighter or darker background. So I know these are both flowering, but they're different enough where I don't think they get in the way of each other. This is a juga shade plant. This is as tall as it gets. Fills out. Just a nice little shrub. And then these guys can go around. I'll save the rest of those shades. Let's get into the sun. This is more fun. This guy's, it's about a year or two old that we've had it in terms of like the variety. It is a cotoneaster. If you guys know burning bush, it turns that bright orange red. That's great plant. It just gets kind of big. This guy's another alternative that's more drought hardy. Gets that same orange and red. Stays a little bit more compact. So this is the Autumn Inferno cotoneaster. So I brought it as an alternative because the burning bush takes a lot of water sometimes to get it established. This has a really more finesse look to it. Smaller leaves, obviously, but when it goes orange, I mean, it's just amazing to see it go orange because it's more compact. So you just see it in your landscape. So that's why I wanted to introduce this. People are kind of weary about it because it's a cotoneaster, and people either hate those or love those. It's got a softer look than a cotoneaster normally would. So that's why I brought it up for you guys. Okay, so wisteria. I don't know if you guys saw the ones blooming as you came in. They're just starting to bloom in California. They are not starting to bloom here. They are barely leafing out here if you guys have it. But I brought this because this is a smaller version than the regulars. The one that was blooming is like 25 feet by undetermined amount of length. This guy's 16 feet and then as trained out, but it's a little bit smaller. So if you're smaller yard, like the PV Granville area, you guys don't have any room for your yards. It's small. This would be great there without overwhelming. Because wisteria, you can train up real easy, full sun, drought hardy when it's in. It gets real woody as it ages, but that's the beauty of it. Purple flowers. This is a great plant for smaller yards. If you have more space, go with the big guy. They look exactly the same. It's just the size. This guy is a new one we got in this year. I've never seen it with us before. Horse-reed tail. If you have a lot of clay or a lot of water in a certain area, this will live in it and take it all day long. Full sun, it's almost a bog plant. It likes to live in water. So if you get this, make sure you're either willing to water it every day or you have clay that holds moisture. So that's why I like these guys. They only get this tall, but they fill out really thick. So don't let this fake you out. It fills out thick. Yeah. These were down in our perennial house. Usually if they're down in perennial house, they'll go year round. These guys, it might be different varieties or something. I wouldn't know. But these ones can go year round too. Not a problem. You said they could grow in California. Colorado. We're similar to Colorado. So yeah, there could be other things going on. All right. These guys. Okay. These are both perennials. These are not annuals. These are perennials. Carnation dianthus is the name for these. Scabiosa. I've got tons of these down in the perennial house. Full sun. Nothing touches them. Nothing eats them, or nothing should. This year's been a little different. But these guys are great. Smell awesome. If you want to use them as like a border to kind of keep things out of your yard, that's what these are great for, because they don't like the smell. So they'll kind of be like, whoop, don't go there. Like rabbits, if you've got some squirrels or pack rats or things, they will not work for the javelina or the deer. They're not tall enough. So as best you can. Scabiosa is a great one if you want to just throw it in a pot, never have to touch it once it's rooted. Full sun, great plant, very, very drought hardy. This is as tall as it gets, the flower. It spreads out probably like a foot or two, and that is your plant. And it is more of a May bloomer, so you're just starting to see it. The whole thing fills up. By the time May hits, you're like, it's just crazy amount of flowers. Bees do love it, butterflies, hummingbirds, they'll all kind of go for this. So it's a great. This is as tall as it gets, about a half a foot. I'm bad at height, but that's as tall as it gets. It does. It's an all summer bloomer. So May until August or so, as soon as you start getting cold. These guys are all annuals. I just thought I would show you because they're just big, bloom, beautiful colors right now. So this is ranunculus. I have it in multiple colors out there. It's an early spring blooming plant, so it's been in bloom for about a month now, and it'll probably bloom until end of May when we get really hot. It kind of dies out, but in a shaded spot, it could go longer. So that's these guys. Big blooms, good for floral if you want to go out and cut flowers. These are great for that. They get probably 1 foot by 1 foot. They'll get a little bit thicker than this. That's ranunculus. These are poppies we just got in. Don't mind the weeping. They came to California. They're trying to be covered right now. Poppies are great. They just started blooming, and they will bloom all summer for you, all the way into like August, September. Then they'll be done. You can get them to reseed. They're very easy to reseed in your yard. Even this variety is easy to reseed, or the California ones, either one. I think these are the champagne poppies, so they're a little bit bigger. So I have yellow and orange in this. And then these guys, I have this in every color, every size. These are great solid plants. I call them kind of a Gerber daisy, but there's multiple names to them. Every time the flower dies, cut it off, it will send up a new one. It will constantly send up new flowers the entire summer. Nothing touches it, nothing eats it. So it's a great overall hardy plant, and it can handle more of that sun than some of the other annuals because it's real thick and it holds moisture. So this is a great plant for summer in pots or the ground. I call it a Gerber daisy. This says Gardenia Sweet Spice Rose, the Gerber daisy. Gerbera. Okay. Yeah, so we have a couple handouts we do for each class. One of the handouts is going to be a vegetable calendar, so that way you know when and how to plant your vegetables. The other two are mysteries. You will know as soon as we send them out on Monday, but they're going to be related to herbs and veggies or flowers, things like that. Yeah. We always give you good information no matter what it is. And this one's for you. And if you are a part of our garden club, it's not the same thing. You have to sign up for that individually if you want that handout. If that makes sense. Okay. These guys and the Society Garlic are great for borders. If you've got an herb garden, or you've got javelina that traipse through, or squirrels, or maybe even deer, these guys are great for your borders. Marigolds, something everyone knows. They are an annual here. Great for borders of anything. I like to do them especially around herbs or veggies. Society Garlic is an amazing plant around almost anything. It smells exactly like garlic. So if you don't like garlic, don't plant this, but nothing else likes it either. So nothing will touch it. I use it for a border around, because I have javelina traipse through my front yard. So I have to block it off, but I don't want fencing because it ruins my front yard. So I put this around a couple of my plants, and they just smell it and they're like, oh, there's nothing good here. I'm not going to walk here. So they move on. So it does work as a border plant. Just you got to love the smell of garlic if it's around where you're walking. So that's why I brought these up. They're great deterrents for things. If a little more organic for you guys, if you don't want to do sprays. Not saying they're 100%, just saying they work well. This is a perennial. Yep, and it comes in variegated, which is what this one is, and it comes in solid green. Flowers are all the same, purple flowers. So this is as tall as it gets. It's maybe 1 foot wide. That is it. Yes, they're kind of like the citronella. They do repel mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. These guys, we had bigger ones earlier in the season. These are iris or candy tuft. Beautiful plants when they're grown out. This whole thing is just white, blooms from early spring all the way into the summer. One of the longer blooming perennials that you'll find. This is a perennial, candy tuft. Nothing touches it, nothing eats it. Rabbits might try it a little bit, then they'll leave it alone because they're like, "Ooh, that doesn't taste good." So I do have it on some racks over here. This is the last probably bit for the season because they have more of an early spring plant. So we had them, sold them. This is probably the last little bit. Okay, let me go over a couple products. I'll ask some questions, and then I'll go over the rest of my plants if we don't have anything. So 2 things. If you've been in any of these talks, you know about these. I'm going to repeat it. They're great. If you are planting anytime now until like August, September, when you cool off, I would highly suggest some root and grow. It's going to help with your transplant shock, because if you plant in this heat, things just stress out a little bit more than they would if you planted earlier or later in the season. So root and grow will help them. You use 2 capsules per gallon, mix it in water, Pour right on your plant every 2 weeks until you see some new growth. Highly suggest for trees and things and shrubs, but if you want to use it for flowers, you don't have to use it very often, but I highly suggest this product for these. I have it in a quart and a gallon. So that's one. The other one I would suggest for the season, especially this winter that we've had, is some flower power. Any of these plants, this stuff will make it bloom longer, faster, and make it bloom like, it would make this bloom almost instantly, probably within like 2 days. So flower power is great. The powder, mix it 1 scoop per gallon of water, pour it right on your plant. You do have to be a little more specific on the measurements of this because I burned out my lilac last year and it has not come back. So don't want to burn your plants with this. Just follow the instructions and you'll be fine. So flower power, great. And even on your fruits and veggies, fruits, not your veggies, your fruits, it will help. Anything that blooms. So I guess veggies. So anything like that. I'm bringing it up now because this is the season you use this. You've been using your 744 fertilizer. You've been using your mulch, redoing things. This is now the season for this to kind of get things to go. And with the winter being what it was, wet, cold, it sticked around, plants are not happy right now. Nothing, very few things are happy right now. That will get it to go. If you've had trouble blooming things, or if you're like, it's not doing anything, that will help. So just wanted to bring those 2 main things up. I could talk on products all day long. I could do a whole 2-hour class on it, but I won't do that to you because it's boring. Okay, any questions before I go on the last couple of plants right now? Anything you guys questioning around town or anything? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nope. Nope, you don't have to. You just let them do their thing as tomatoes. If one end dies or something, you trim it back, but it kind of takes care of itself. Mm-hmm. They don't touch it. Yeah, they don't like it because these are very hard and they have nothing, so they will. Anything else? Okay. Last little ones. So this is a new variety we've got in this year. I haven't seen it here before. Shade plant. It is a sweet wood ruff. This is pretty much all it does. It stays low to the ground, gets full of flowers more like in May, because it blooms more in May, but great for under a tree. Under a shrub, tall shrub, around any shade thing. This would be perfect because it doesn't get too tall. So I just want to bring this up. It's kind of an alternative to this. If you have more of a shade spot, then this likes full sun. You can do partial. If you have more shade than anything, kind of a similar thing. It gets all white flowers and stuff, clumps up, but it looks really beautiful. So I thought I would show you guys this new variety. Wish it was blooming. This is a sweet wood ruff. I think they are too. If you dry out the flowers, you can use them as a medicinal thing. I think what I was reading. Something, but yes, you're right. It does. These guys are great. Sweet potato vine. They're all slightly different names, but sweet potato vine. Great for around pots. If you want something draping, because a lot of times people have like tall stuff in their pots and nothing low, and you're like, you need something to fill the dirt. These will do that for you. These are shade. This can handle more sun, the brighter one, but they do like some shade to them. But they'll just trail over, keep going. You can cut them back if they get too long. Great for around pots. I brought these because these are some new colors we haven't had this year. But I'll talk about those in a second. I forgot what I've got. It's been a busy day. So we just got lupin in. Lupin's a shade plant. Nothing really eats it, but this whole thing will open. You can start seeing it now. But this whole thing will open in the next couple weeks, and it will just go probably for about 2 months, and then it sends up another one, and you just cut this one off. So great kind of lower grow if you want a flower that's shade. This is lupin. Last shade one, I promise. I'll stop talking about shade plants. I just don't have any sun things that are new, but we're getting them. So this is called blue-eyed grass, this lucerne. It's kind of a weird name, but pretty delicate little thing. If you've got a lot of harsh landscape and you just want something nice and in a pot, this is great. As tall as it gets, fills up probably 1 foot. Pretty blue flowers, and it keeps going through the season. Keep going on all the way through into August. a little bit, not too much, but it can be some. Right. These are all the same osteospermum, annual plants, full sun. They just all are different colors. So these is a double bloom. This is a single. So I have this in a purple and yellow, and I have this in all these colors. But I brought them because these are all new types of colors that I haven't seen around. I'm sure there's some, but they're more variegated. They're two tones, so they're just more of a sunset colors. Kind of go against a rock. A lot of people have these beige rocks. This would be perfect for that. Osteospermum. Spermum? Osteospermum. I don't know the other name, otherwise I would tell you. I think that's just their name. So those are those guys. And if you do have rabbits, they will probably eat these. So you do have to make sure you don't have rabbits or deer or anything like that, because they do like to eat flowers. Unfortunately. Full sign, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's my purple one. That's my double purple. Right? I like the doubles more than the singles, but that's because I just like a doubled flower on there. All right, last little thing are these trees. I brought these up because they're newer trees than we've had before. So, I can try and get them on it. Okay. So this is a red bud. This is a vanilla twist. Yeah, vanilla twist, red bud. So blooms white. Everything else you see usually blooms pink or purple. This blooms white. So it's just about to bloom out here in the next couple weeks, and then it will send out its bright green leaves. You'll see some have dark heart-shaped leaves, dark purple, dark green. This is a very light green leaf that it gets. And it's a heart-shaped, but it's a great plant for like, if you have a focal point in your yard and you don't want just like a normal tree, this is great. Not many people have them, and the shaping of them makes people really question them. Like it will start to drape down and create a weeping look. So it's really pretty when it's grown out. It does go through an awkward phase before it grows out. So red buds always kind of grow up and then out. So they do go through a little bit of an adolescent phase too. And then this one is a lilac tree. Japanese tree lilac. So just kind of bloomed out, or didn't bloom yet. It does leaves first and then it blooms. So by this summer, this thing will be full of blooms, and it does smell like a lilac. It's very fragrant. You can see a full picture here. You can't see it from there, but full of flowers. 20 by 20, so it is a taller tree. Full sun. Animals don't touch it. Deer might try it, but they won't like it. So don't worry about the deer. Javelina don't like it, and rabbits will get it. So you're good on that. But I just thought these trees are, because most people see pink flowers, most people see the fruit trees. These are different because they're white, and then they smell good, and they're different colors for the area. So those are kind of my plants. I don't want to bore you too much by talking the whole time, but any questions you guys have or anything that I can answer, this is kind of open to you guys because it's the last class. Oh yeah, yeah, that's azalea. I just brought it up because the rhodies and azaleas are all starting to bloom. So I brought this up because it's the only one fully in bloom, but they are all starting. So I suggest a shade plant, afternoon shade. Nothing eats these, nothing touches them. The azaleas stay smaller than the rhodies, the rhododendrons. So great under trees or in pots, like that. But yeah, beautiful. That is a great question. I don't know, because cows, they tend to just kind of eat everything, right? Yeah, so I think they're safe for cows, but I don't think they're against cows. That's an interesting question. Anything else? Hmm? Okay. Mm-hmm. So it depends on what you put in. She asked she's got pots. If she plants in them in the full sun in the winter, does she need to cover them? If they're ceramic pots and things, they'll be fine. If you've got shrubs in them and stuff, they'll be fine over the winter. You don't have to cover it. So they'll most likely die back and then come out of it. If it's flowery stuff, you will have to cover and kind of keep it nice. But most everything that is besides an annual, it will take care of itself. You won't really have to take care of it. We only do it now because we bring it in for health. So it kind of depends on the plant. Most of them take care of themselves. Does that answer your question? Okay. Yeah. We do it. We do a March cutback. So March is when you do mostly everything besides your early bloomers. Forsythias and lilacs you don't do until after they're done blooming. That's the only one that's due. Bloom pretty much through the season until we get cold. I think it moves all the way until September, depending on when it takes. It's a pretty long lasting tree. It does. Again, it's one of those that go up and then it bushes out. It's got a 20 by 20. Yeah. Is it doing anything right now? Okay. I would do the all-purpose 744. For things that are struggling through the winter that need a boost, I would use our 744 fertilizer. It is a granular form. Throw it around the base, water it in lightly, and it kind of has all the numbers, so it boosts it faster. This is mostly just phosphorus, so that's why it works better on the bloomers. The 744 has got nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash all together. So it's a little bit better for things that are struggling. The 744. So we fertilize 3 to 4 times a year. You fertilize in March, kind of around Easter or so, 4th of July, and then Halloween. You can do New Year's if you want. I would just do it more in March, but about 3 times a year. Anyone else? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. I would do some um, aluminum sulfate or soil sulfur. Either one will get. Those are the ones that change the color of your hydrangea back from like pink to blue, so it will help change it back. And that works also for the blue spruces. It will make them bluer. If they're kind of turning more back to the green, throw some of that soil sulfur or aluminum sulfate. It'll blue it back up for you. So I think this season especially that would be pretty cool. Stuff like that. Yeah, so I just didn't bring them because they're all sticks in a bucket right now, so they look like nothing. Yes, crepe myrtle is the last. Rosa Sharon and crepe myrtle are the last things that will ever leaf out or bloom out for you guys. They won't even start seeing growth on them until May, maybe even mid-May, because of our delayed season. So we've got some in. Anything that looks like a stick is probably crepe myrtle. Um, they're great, full sun, nothing touches them, drought hardy. So once they're established, you're barely touching them with water. Kind of maybe every couple of summers, if you get hot, you'll water them. And I get them all different kinds of colors, all different sizes. They can be 10, 12 feet tall. They can be 3 to 4 feet tall. Depends on the variety. Did I answer that question? Yeah. Rose assurance, same way kind of thing. Full sun, nothing touches it. Kind of a little bit more susceptible to maybe some baby deer will try the flowers and stuff because they're big, but they won't like it. Bugs can sometimes go after it just because they're big flowers, but they take care of themselves. Don't have to cut them back, don't have to do anything. I get purples, blues, and whites. Those are rose Sharons. Butterfly bushes again, same way. They're just starting to leaf out. They won't even bloom until May, so don't be worried about those. We're just starting to get them in. So our summer flowers are just starting to show up. Gaillardia, hot lip salvia, um, agastache, things like that go in our lower house. They're just starting to come in. So people are a little early this year. They want to plant now and they want to put things in, and we're probably going to get another freeze. I hope not. We're going to say no. But just be aware if you plant vegetables and things now, you might have to cover until after Mother's Day. So we pull them in. People are wanting to do it, and we look like we're warm. Just be very cautious of the temps at night. Tell Mother's Day. And hail. Yeah, hail. Okay, yeah. Is it hail? I'm confused. All right. Anything else? Anyone questions? Clay? It will. I would add some gypsum. If you guys have really hard clay, I'd add gypsum to break it up a little bit, and then it will allow water to kind of come through. But you won't be watering as much. Newly planted, you're probably watering 2, maybe 3, depends on how fast it dries out, times a week. Once it's established, once a week, probably. In clay, this is in clay. So. Yep. A lot of people have that. Clay or rocks, what do you have? Both are fun. Yeah, both are great. That's why I do a lot of pots in my yard, because I hate digging in my dirt. Yeah. Anything else, you guys? I know this is kind of a quicker class, but I didn't want to spend all day talking about flowers, but I wanted to answer questions. As you can tell, we got a lot of annuals in, more to come. Every week from now on, you're getting flowers, and our big rose truck is coming. Yeah, big rose truck, so everyone knows, last week of April, I think it's next week, we're getting our like 300, 400 things of roses. If you guys are waiting on those, they're coming in. Oh, yeah. And I bought it because it was fun. So this is an annual here, but it's great because it blooms the entire summer. And it's a newer variety that is purple and white, and it's full sun, can handle full sun. I brought it because it can handle that sun a little bit better than some things. Like Calbricoa can handle full sun, but they get a little fried, or you're watering every single day, maybe even twice a day. This guy, because of the thick leaves, you only have to water probably once a day, and it will hold that moisture until the next day. So like in summer, that's when it's important to have this. I think it gets 16 by 16, so it gets a little bit taller, a little bit wider. This is a solid plant for like a background to like something. I think I brought it to go with that. So like this is a background plant, and then put stuff in front and really showcase it. The new variety we got in this year, so I'm still learning about it as well, but I think it's got great pollinator. Oh, I brought it because it handles salt well. So if you're running off well water, or if you have an area that it's kind of moist all the time, or it gets a lot of acidity or salt, this guy can handle it. It'll take that salt, push it through its leaves, and you'll see some white spots on your leaves, and they almost glisten in the sun. So it's really pretty in the summer, but it excretes that salt, so it doesn't like kill the plant in itself. So great for Prescott because we are very acidic, very high pH. So we're very alkaline. So this will be great for that. Pots or the ground, either one, but it will die back in the winter. Yeah, thank you. Oh, and I guess I'll talk on this one since we have some time. I have lots of these coming in and lots of these already. Spirea. This is a Renaissance Spirea. So this is one of the older varieties, kind of the ones that everyone knows. But when they're blooming, which they're just about to go into bloom, it's the whole plant, fills everything up, and it goes for a while. It will go for like 3 or 4 months blooming. And then it kind of finishes and it is green through your season. Bit of a bigger shrub shade plant. Can handle a little bit more sun than other shades. You can probably go into like 12 o'clock or so with this guy, or maybe even 1:30-ish, and it will live through that. Nothing touches it, nothing eats it. Again, baby deer might try and eat the flowers, but then they're going to move on, so they're not going to like it. Very drought tolerant once established. I probably water mine right now once every couple of weeks. It's on drip, but they're a few years old. So you're probably watering 2 or 3 times a week right now. 5 to 6 feet tall and wide. Yeah, there's smaller ones. There's blue. There's pink. There's a lot of colors of these guys that come in. I think I spoke on everything. Brought up more. That's it, guys. Unless you got questions, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You might, because they might have sent some eggs into your dirt and stuff. I would just throw some killer on it, unless you don't want to do that. But turf ranger, I won't be getting Nova Bait this year. If you guys know what Nova Bait is, best thing for grasshoppers. That company is pretty much gone, so we're trying to find replacements for Nova Bait, but we will not get it this year. We get turf ranger, is our big granular one, and then I'm researching some other ones that do well. That's a little bit safer than turf ranger. Turf ranger is not organic, so. I'm working on that. But grasshoppers, if you had them really bad, change out the soil if you want, but only just do the top few. Just you don't need to do anything. Any other question? Budward. Yes. I know. You're gonna start seeing in May and June, geraniums and your petunias are gonna get budworm. You will not notice the worm itself usually. You'll notice black spots on your leaves. That is the poop they leave behind. Or you'll see holes in your flowers before they even come out. You're like, where's my flower? You're gonna wanna, I've got a caterpillar granular or a spray. You just got to do it as a skin. There's nothing really preventative to do. They come from those skinks moth, the moths that you see at the end of the season. They come from that. So they're just, you got to get rid of them as a skin. So look for them in May. You'll start seeing them come out every year. Without fail, they will come out. Yeah, you can't get away from them. All right. Well, thank you guys. I'll stay up here to answer questions and things, but appreciate you coming and listening.